Hello, hi, good morning to all of you in the EU, and good afternoon to all of you that are in Japan. Like myself, I'm kind of readjusting after several months spent in Europe, so now it's I know that it's also for me. It's afternoon. It's great to be back here in Tokyo. My name is Luca Escoffier. I don't know if all of you know me, and today with me also we have a special guest, Adrienne. Very nice to see you, Adrienne. Good morning for you. Let me maybe spend just a couple of minutes to introduce today's agenda and a little bit of housekeeping things to mention, and then the floor is yours. So first, thanks to again all of you that are present today. We have an exciting presentation from Adrienne, belonging to a startup, a JAXA-certified startup called Tenchijin. And I can also stop sharing that screen so that you can see us better. And today we will be having, as usual, a presentation of around 30 minutes, then a section dedicated to Q&A. Please do not be shy. If you have questions, please do ask them. We are here for you. We will also be sharing the presentation that Adrienne today will show you in a minute. So that's also useful for you. And of course, anyway, you can get back to us even after, of course, the event, and send us an email if you have any questions. Other than that, I would probably, yes, read the bio, of course, of today's guest, of Adrienne. Adrienne Lemal is a global business developer at Tenchijin. That is, as I said, a JAXA-certified startup. He's responsible in the company for delivering an intuitive, competitive, AI-powered, data-driven solution to his customers in the infrastructure, renewable energy, and agriculture sectors. Tenchijin is fusing Earth observation, weather, geospatial, and soil data to help business find the most suitable land on Earth to run their activities, reduce their costs, increase their revenues, and implement sustainable practices. Adrienne holds an MBA from Toulouse Business School, specializing in space business applications and AI, with a focus on open innovation in space downstream activities, which is exactly what this company does. He also holds a PhD in plasma for aerospace engineering from University of Paris-Saclay. And before joining this company, he developed carbon dioxide and methane emission models and software to ensure the success of the exploration mission undertaken by NASA, ESA, JAXA, Ariane Group, ALCO Limited, and he lives in France. Without further ado, Adrienne, thanks again for being with us today, and the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Luca, for the kind introduction. Everyone, good morning, good afternoon. I'm very pleased to introduce the Tenchijin solution to solve global issues, which is water shortage. So please allow me to share the presentation I made for today. Is the presentation visible?
It is okay, Adrienne, but if you can go full screen, maybe that's better, if it's doable from the PDF. Wonderful. And also, I forgot to say that, but of course, if there are questions, please do wait until the end, or during the presentation, you can write them into the chat window, chat box. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Luca, again. So today's talk will be dedicated to Tenchijin core technology, which is smart data fusion with AI, with the aim to anticipate water leakage risk and fix actually water leakage in a timely manner. This is a short agenda, so I will briefly introduce Tenchijin, the exquisite cooperation we have with JAXA, our recent results, then move on to the pain points that municipalities and utilities have and how we solve them. And then I will describe the test case we had with Japanese cities recently, and conclude with the partners we are looking for businesses in Europe. Tenchijin was founded 4 years ago. It now includes 40 members of various backgrounds, ranging from business, science, AI, and engineering. We are headquartered in Tokyo, but we already operated abroad. So we operated from Europe. Myself and my manager, Yuhei, in the attendees are based in France, and we have developers and engineers in Italy and Germany as well. We also have members in US and Australia. We recently won actually 2 European awards. Some of you may be familiar with. It's the Copernicus Master, which awards companies on their best usage of satellite data. So we won twice, and actually twice in a row, which is actually a premiere for a Japanese company. So we won a prize actually last year on water infrastructure, from which actually we developed our solution for water leakage. We have an exquisite relationship with JAXA because our CEO, Yakusan, is a JAXA staff. We share expertise. We use their data the best way we can. And as a testimony of trust, so JAXA invested funding in us last year, and this is also a world premiere. It's the first time that a space agency invests into a startup. We are cross-fertilize our relationship, nurturing our relationship with JAXA. It has been amazing for the last years, and we continue to do so by using their data to solve issues in Japan, but also globally. Our team is already worldwide, spreading worldwide, so headquartered in Japan, but we have global biz dev and engineering spread all over the world. So in Europe, we are about actually 4 members. So Yuhei, Ruan, Nassim, and both on biz and engineering side. And we plan to expand our activities in Europe with new hires, both on the sales and engineering. But coming back to this presentation, what do we solve? So last year, summer was terrible for all of us. It has been very dry, very hot, and projections believe that the drought will be a persistent European problem. So it will always be dry, and the water supply is really jeopardized. And on top of this, in Europe, actually, 1/4 of water is lost in the pipes, so which creates tremendous issues because we will have not enough water, and there are a lot of water that is being lost. So we need to fix this issue. We need to prevent leakage from happening. We need to help the municipalities to maintain their water pipes. On top of this, when there is a water pipe leakage, it creates chaos on the street. It disrupts economic activities. It disrupts citizens' life, where you can see here. So in New York, Times Square, you have also many examples in France, Italy, and Germany, where pipes actually burst, create leakages, but even more chaos. And this is something we want to prevent with our solution. So what are the pain points we address? So cities and companies are facing tremendous issues. First of all is that it is becoming increasingly expensive to maintain, fix, and repair water pipe. These are in a position that the budget for municipalities remains limited, and in some countries is expected to decline. Second is that the operation are really time consuming because they need to have a lot of crew, a lot of material. They need to decide where to go, and obviously they don't want to make mistakes. And on top of this, there is a shortage of skilled workers. So not anyone can be a highly skilled technician to detect leakage. And third, the risk of leakage is unknown. For most of it, it's becoming very complicated to anticipate because now we see a lot of coupling with extreme weather events, such as flood and drought. So these are the pain points we are aiming to solve with the solution we have developed, which is a software called No Water Leak. So it's a water leakage risk assessment software. So it's an online geospatial service which uses space big data, so satellite data, ground sensor data to assess the risk of water pipe leakages. So this is an example of the interface a customer are using. So they see the map of the city, and the area that is colored in red, it's where the risk of leakage is really high. So meaning it tells them where to go and when to go to avoid any catastrophe and optimize their resources. More in detail, so this is a software. So it's, as I said, it's a map, but it's more than a map, actually. It gives the users the ability, the freedom to select the layers of interest. So it can select the layers and visualize its water pipe data. It can see which areas are under severe risk of leakage. It can aggregate all the elements from valves, pumps, and so on, but also all the history of previous repair and fixing of leakages. Everything is recording on the platform, and the users, so in the street, actually can record their inspection, their task, and so on. And everything is fully visible, fully available for the whole management team. How it works, you would ask. So we are using the best of two worlds, the best from the water pipe network data and the best from satellite data. Because we believe predict the risk, we need both. We cannot predict the risk only if we have the water pipe or only if we have the satellites. This has been proven by extensive R&D on our side, and we know that it's better and it's warranted to combine both. So we combine a water pipe network data, which is the material of the pipe, the size, the repair history, the leakage history. And second, the satellite data, so the temperature, the rainfall, and the landslide. All of these data so happen to be actually factors for water leakage risk. And we have an interesting correlation actually between risk and temperature differences, which I can discuss later if you want. When we have this data, then we developed a proprietary machine learning algorithm that are able to detect trends within the data, calculate the deterioration of the pipe, and then compute the likelihood of water leakage, which is the risk. And then the third technology is the user interface, which is the map I showed earlier. So where the user can see which areas are more prone to higher risk of water leakage risk. So as I said in the title, it's smart data fusion, which is mandatory to actually anticipate water leakage risk. So we actually use data that municipalities shared with us. So we protect the data, we encrypt the data, and we work either on premises or on cloud-based system to protect the data shared. And also we use satellite data from open source data, such as the JAXA, ESA, or NASA Sentinel programs, such as Copernicus. We can also rely on private operators' data that we buy. But at the end, the data we purchase or acquire has a negligible cost, because either we buy free data or either there is too much competition between satellite data providers, so we have significant bargaining power. So in any case, we can have access to all data needed to meet the needs of our customers at a reasonable cost, which make our offering very competitive. And the advantage of the solution is that it aggregates all data. So meaning our user will see the data he shared, but also the data we acquired. So the land surface temperature, the rainfall, the humidity, the landslide motion, and so on. So he will understand with full transparency why there is a risk of leakage and what are the drivers of this leakage. To calculate the risk, so we carried out a traditional PDCA approach. So plan, do, check, and act. So plan when accessing and acquiring satellite data, doing by analyzing corrosion factors and material deterioration, checking by visualizing the risk on a map that the users can play with independently and with no knowledge required in satellite data nor AI. And then we act. So the user can act, can deploy its crew on the ground, can report the leakage they fix and the leakage they found. And then it's a virtuous cycle as the machine learning will learn from the data implemented from satellite, from ground, and the users. And the circle repeats itself so that at the end, the risk of leakage is completely mitigated and the budget is maintained. This is an example on how to use in operation because with the dashboard, we also have a mobile app that the people on crew on ground can use. So basically, it's 3 steps. First, analysis. So the data we shared, then the municipalities or city can plan. So can plan meaning where to go, when to go, because the resolution of the red square is really high. It's 100 meters square. So when crew goes on field, they know exactly where to go, and they don't lose themselves doing so useless operation. And then they inspect and report. And when they report, they close the loop and the process continues again. So when we do this, we explain which data drive the risk. We can ask the operators to check areas with high focus, so they avoid unnecessary inspection. And what matters the most is that they can fix before it lasts long or because it leads to a catastrophe. All the information is being shared within the users, and they can request analytics and reports at any time. So the performances compared to manual inspection. So these are from the feedbacks we had with our current customers in Japan. So we are able to detect leakage 3 times faster, and we have been able to reduce the inspection cost by 65% and the inspection time by 85%, which give actually municipalities and and utilities more money to be used for other projects. So we had some very good traction already. The solution has been awarded first in Europe, then praised at the latest CES show in Las Vegas, where we could win the third prize. Then we have very good result with Toyota City. So Toyota City, with who we carried out a pilot project, and the aim was to reduce the cost of investigation, the time of investigation, and to find as many as possible water leakages. So we found 77 leakage, and we reduced the cost and time of leakage sourcing by 65 and 85% respectively. Toyota City has been very happy with this solution, and we are moving forward with actually a customized software for them. When here I can share further information on this pilot project. So when we discover what efficiently reduce water leaks, we can reduce the time and cost investigation. So basically, we reduced by 95% the survey distance, and we reduced actually the cost by 84%, which is a tremendous for a city where the budget is either plateauing or worse, declining. So we are able to help them save a lot of money that they can allocate elsewhere. When we look at it in detail, and when we compare with the acoustic survey itself, so the acoustic survey, it's the red, it's a gray square on the left. When the cities or utilities buy actually no water leak software, the cost for acoustic survey is decreased. No water leak is not free, obviously, but is really competitive, and which means that they have 50% of budget left to allocate to other activities. When they use our solution, actually, they can detect, they could detect 20 times more leakages in their network. And this has been praised by them because they could detect leakage much better, and actually with at a lower cost. Following Toyota City project, there are two more cities that are buying the software, the city of Seto and the city of Fukushima, where we are actually building the software for them. So no water leak differentiates itself from product because first it's accurate, because it's able to fuse data from various sources, and we know it brings value to customers. It visualizes the data of the water pipe, of the environment quite clearly and transparently. And from the feedback, actually, no water leak is very intuitive. Users can play, can see layers, can understand where leakage will happen in the future. They can allocate crew very easily. The users, they don't need any knowledge in satellite data nor AI because they are using a dashboard that's very intuitive. So based on this success in Japan, we are looking to expand our activities in Europe. So we are looking for cities and utilities in Europe to conduct pilot projects, aiming to save water, save cost, and reduce operation cost. We are also looking for universities, research centers in Europe to continue developing top-notch risk prediction algorithms. And it's how I will end my presentation. Here are our contact details, so please feel free to send us emails for further questions, and I will be happy to answer yours.